What's up, little business under dry tomatoes? Before we start this episode, Justin, we got 2 new returning Patriots.
All right, let's bring them in.
Yeah, we can't bring them in. We got to bring in our boy Idris.
We're going to bring them in. We're going to bring them in the right way with Idris.
Oh, okay. Well, you didn't say that.
Come on, Brandon. Get your shit together, baby.
You just said bring them in like your T.I.
What?
Call Idris.
When did T.I. bring people in?
You said bring them out. Oh, wait, yeah. Because you bring them out.
Nigga, stop. Just stop.
Call the number.
All right, guys, let's go with them.
Hey, what's up, bruv? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Brandon, how are you?
Good. We got some new Patriots for you to shout out, so we're really excited about that, man.
I'm Justin. How are you? I'm doing good, Idris. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't worry about Justin. You know,
appreciate you, Justin.
What about me? You don't appreciate me? I'm the one who sends you the stuff. I'm the one who sends you the peanuts.
What Patriots do you have, Brandon?
You never give me the juice. All right. The first returning Patriot is C.J. Jones.
CJ, you're a returning Patriot. That means you left us, but you came back. And the fact that you came back is all that matters to us. Thank you for being a Patriot once again. Thank you for your patronage.
That's right. Us. And then we also appreciate Philip Shapiro coming back.
Philip, you're Shapiro, but you guess what else you are? You're a Patriot. You're coming back to Patreon. So thank you very much for being a Patriot. Thank you for joining us once again. Thank you for your patronage.
Thank you all so much for listening. And if you want to support the show, remember patreon.com/mediapopcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, $15 packages. And Idris will show you his package as well as shout out your name on the show.
I will not.
Well, Idris, we already have some on the Patreon. You know, it would be basically we're basically your OnlyFans page at this point, Idris. That's how much of your package we have on that page. So, you know, we appreciate you is what I'm saying, you know. And folks, we appreciate you for listening. You know, leave us a 5-star review if money's tight and you can't do the Patreon thing. But we really should take yourself over to patreon.com/mediapopcorn. You get to talk to Justin and I. And occasionally Idris will pop in and be like, hey, how you doing, Tootens? You know, and we appreciate you.
Tootens?
Justin, come on, you know. Idris, you know what I'm talking about.
It just hung up about 4 minutes ago, nigga.
4 minutes ago? We only been talking for 2.5 minutes. You do not know how the time works. All right, y'all. Enjoy this episode. Peace.
Medium popcorn. We are 2 niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
You got a friend in me. Ugh. I'm Eddie Collins.
You got a friend in me. I'm Justin Brown.
And we are medium popcorn going to review Toy Story.
Whoa. Brandon.
Oh, that's
Brandon.
Randy Newman, right? It just you talk like this. You're kind of like a white Cosby. You're like,
No.
And I'm blue by myself.
I'm not going to lie. When he's singing that, it sounds like he's had a stroke.
It's kind of crazy.
He got a friend in me.
It's
a friend in me.
It's like if Gary Busey took up singing. Like if Gary Busey became a folk singer.
You got a friend in me. He's got the Bobby Brown crack jaw.
Yeah. I remember like being a kid, like, you know, I was 10 years old when I saw this movie when it first came out. So I'm just like, man, this is fucking amazing. But as an adult now, I'm like, I still love this movie, but Randy Newman's music is kind of crazy. Like his voice is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, and especially when it comes out of nowhere, especially the scene where Buzz is almost about to commit suicide. I'm gonna fly. Oh, Lord. And then I realize that I may be dead. Got a friend in me.
It's a really crazy song.
Yeah.
It really is like, as I fly for myself, I'll go sailing no more. And then Buzz is just like, he's got his arm broken and shit. And you're just like, Jesus,
like, what?
Pixar, this is their first movie. Yeah. I texted you last night when I was watching this, because it's wild, because I actually sat down and watched Toy Story like in entirety in years. So sitting down with Tati, like with a bowl of popcorn and watching it, like I was just smiling the whole time because I had like, brought back childhood memories. I remember, I think we went for my friend Kendall's birthday to go see Toy Story. It was a big deal because like everyone's like, it's the first CGI fucking movie and stuff, right? And it still really holds up. But the thing is, I texted you, I was like, yo, from an adult lens, Buzz really is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because do toys immediately know that they are toys when they exist in this world? That's the biggest question I have about Buzz. Like if I'm Woody, right, and I wake up in Andy's room or however I get activated, do I know immediately I'm a toy? I got to be like dead when I'm around humans? Like, I was curious about that because if you're just immediately aware of your existence and how it fits in the world, then that makes Buzz Lightyear completely bonkers.
So, well, yes. That's a good question because we don't know. We don't know. There's no context given on that. But on the other end, is it like a play on the fact is like, all right, toys are far more advanced now because Buzz has shit that other toys don't have, right? That toy, like, it's the leap in technology in toys to the toys don't know themselves from the characters that they're based off of.
Oh man, yeah, I can see that being the intention behind that, for sure.
I mean, but that's just me spitballing because we have zero clue.
I made it no matter what, it's still fun because, it actually made Woody. It made Tom Hanks's performance as Woody funnier to me because you're watching this dude literally lose his shit. Like, guys. Like, yeah, he's cool and stuff, but he's a toy. Like, he's not a spaceman.
It's also like, no, this nigga thinks he's real. We all know we're not real. This guy thinks he's real.
Woody is like, you think you are the Buzz Lightyear? Like, I thought it was an act. Like, you're completely.
I thought you were just going with this shit, but you're serious. You're serious, huh?
Yeah, I forgot how much this movie's just so creative and so much fun, and like there's like little things that are like really quirky and funny in this movie. And then what I love too is that it kind of like when I first saw it, like it kept me guessing. Like I never knew where it was going. You know what I mean? Like sometimes especially with Disney movies at that point, you were getting like used to a formula, right?
See, you know what's crazy though? Like I feel because this movie came out in what?
96.
96. All right. So
95,
my nephew,
95, sorry.
95. So by like 96, 97, my nephew upstairs, Kane, he was 3 years old because he was born in 94, right? And, by that time, he's now watching, movies and things like that. So I used to watch this film with him all the time. Because he was at that stage. It's just like, play it again. So it's just like, we watch this, Lion King. So there are some films that I've seen so many times because I had a small child who was smaller than me around. So like every scene of this film is just ingrained in my head. To the point, honestly, I didn't have to watch this again. I did. But I didn't have to watch it again because I've seen it
just
so
know
many
how
times.
it goes. Yeah, same. Like I remember like every beat and everything like that. And like once they have to deal with like the aliens at Pizza Planet and all that shit, which as a kid I was like visually I'm like this is hilarious. But then like when you watch it again as an adult that's gone through some shit and kind of maybe been on the verge of insanity, you like watching Woody like go crazy, he's like, stop it, you zealots! Like what do you think we're going? And then like the alien in Sid's backpack is like the mystic portal awaits. He's like, shut up, everyone just shut the fuck up. We're all gonna die. You fucking idiots.
That's fucking Sid, guys. It's fucking Sid. But looking at it in an adult lens, we all have been in that space where somebody new comes along and everybody's for them, and you're just like, I don't fucking get it. Like, what is wrong with you guys? That is not the guy. Like he's a dumbass or he's a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like the first day of school and some new kids there, and then like everybody loves him, but typically you're kind of one of the people that loves the new guy too. But then you're the one who realizes first, oh, that guy's a fucking asshole. Like, why are we here for this guy? He's a dickhead. So like, I think like that's where that kind of hits me, and it's like but nobody else. You're the last one to get on board with it, and like that's where Woody is, and also being replaced and things like that. But there's different layers to it.
Yeah, well, this being the first Pixar movie, they really like took a long time cracking the story. And I guess I remember seeing this in a documentary too. The initial take on Woody was a lot more sarcastic and he was meaner. And so I think that's what really getting someone like Tom Hanks, especially in the 90s, with the softer touch, really made you you're seeing the world kind of through Woody's perspective, right? Yeah. Like you trust that he knows the rules of this world. And so like when he's like, we got to pretend to be dead. Like when humans are around, things like that, you're like following his
not
lead.
Dead. But
yeah. That's why that Strange Things, that's the one Randy Newman song of this movie that like actually works for me. Where it's like strange things are happening to me. Because I'm like, you watch Woody like being like, yo, they leaving in a week and they already putting up new Buzz Lightyear like artwork and shit. Like, what's going on? And then when Woody got knocked over, when they first brought in the Buzz, paper ship knocked him over. Bed. Yeah, that hurt. Woody, you saw that hurt. He's like, I'm on the floor.
No, I'm crawling from under the bed. I've never been under the bed before. Yeah,
yo, so Tati and I.
Good.
Tati and I laugh so hard though when like Woody gets put in like at the end of that song when Andy's like between Bud and Woody, like Buzz and Woody like putting him in the dresser or whatever, he puts Woody in there. The shark with the hat, hat's like, I'm Woody, howdy. we both laugh like, oh yeah, we remember laughing like at that as a kid. You know what I mean? Like because it's just so silly. And he's like, shut up. You're just like, oh yeah, these toys are also seeing Woody like being taken down a peg.
Yeah.
Because he's the leader, right? And he's kind of like he's nice, but he's a little sarcastic and stuff like that. And so,
well, he's the guy. Yeah. He's the guy, and like, everybody's fucking time in the sun is gonna end. You know what I'm saying? And like, this is his time. So like, you have fucking, and the worst person in this whole entire movie is
Mr. Potato Head.
Yes, Mr. Potato Head is the biggest piece of garbage there is.
All because he can't bust a spud. He's just so fucking, he's like, Mr. Potato Head. Oh, you fucking kiss ass and you want to kill me, Woody? I'll fucking take you. He's trying to lynch Woody.
Yeah, he is.
He's let's get a rope and string him up by his pull string. I was like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah, that was nuts. Mr. Potato Head is out of control. Mr. Potato Head is basically Sid, but in toy form.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean,
Tati had a lot of concern. She was like, "Wait, how can we allow a kid like Sid to exist, like to be in society?" I'm like, because it's, especially in the suburbs, that's like what are the white parents going to do? That's what they would always think. What am I supposed to do? Kill my kid?
So Sid grows up. Sid grows up, and he's the kid who like is like hurting other kids in the neighborhood. It's like you can't come around his little sister because Sid's gonna do some fuck shit. Like you can't be alone with Sid, and that was a thing in the 90s. Like that older brother who was just dangerous.
Yeah, I mean this kid is out of control. I mean his braces look fucked up. He walks around with a fucking skull shirt. I mean the design of Sid was great. Like as soon as you see the kid, you're like, that's a problem. And then Tati pointed out he had fucking barbed wire and his like bed rest and shit. Like this kid is out of pocket. Yeah. He's torturing toys. He's got the one baby head without an eye and a fucking, machine things. And I used to make those little like, metal robotics things and shit like that.
I can't remember what they used to call.
Yeah, me neither. But I remember. And I remember being fucked up by that. I was like, damn, people can do that? That's fucking twisted. Like I never thought to do that with my toys.
Yeah.
It was just very, there's a lot of concerns about a kid like Sid.
Well, also
buying rockets online and shit.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But not even online. He had to mail
the back of a magazine. The back of a magazine. One of those.
How do you pay for that motherfucker? Like you have to send a check, right?
Nah, niggas probably stealing kids' money at school.
Very dangerous. Cool.
So what was crazy to me was the fact is that Sid, and obviously the parents had nothing. They were just like, Sid, do whatever the fuck you want. He literally took his sister's favorite doll that she's carrying around, ripped the head off of it, and put a fucking pterodactyl's head on it. I'm just like, yo, what? If one of my kids did that to their sibling and destroyed one of their toys like that, yeah, there's a meeting. There's a meeting with lefts and rights. What are you talking about? What are you doing?
I mean, that was fucking nuts. But I mean, dude, when he like was doing like the head switcheroo, he's like pliers. She's like, because Tati was concerned about all the different act outs he did. She's like, he's pretending he's a doctor and he's a detective and a rocket scientist. She's like, this kid is off his rocker. She's like, yeah. I talked to myself as a kid, but this kid's out of control. But when he's doing all that shit, Buzz is just like, I don't believe that man's ever been in medical school. Like, it just, there's so many things that made me laugh, like in this movie. I was a little annoyed with, the scene when Woody tries to take out Buzz to knock him over the counter, which, one, people are going to still hear Buzz. But I think he was just buying time, right, to get taken to Pizza Planet. He wasn't, like, trying to take Buzz permanently out of the game, right?
Yeah, no, probably not.
Right? He accidentally gets knocked out the window. But, like, using the RC car, come on, bro. Like, you didn't need to do that. You could have just, like, pushed him from behind. You didn't play that off. But I got it, like, because the payoff to that, of me, like, being like, that doesn't quite ring true to the character. The payoff is when he gets in the truck at the end, and he's, like, pushing everybody aside. He pulls out the car again, and they're all like, oh, my God, he's at it again. Because it just seems like when he has this hard-on for this RC car, like, fucking ruin his life.
Well, also, it's just like, why wouldn't you say, it's just like, Buzz is out there. Buzz is out there. We got to save Buzz. The dog's after Buzz. And then fucking get RC out there. It's like, yo, let everybody know. It's like, hey, we need help. Buzz is out there. I need to get RC. We're gonna like that. It'd have been that simple.
And even though this movie is like only 80-something minutes, like 83 minutes or something, what I love most about it is that there's so many places where it could kind of end and be like, hey, the first CGI movie, we did it. It looks great. Blah, blah, blah. Like when they escape Sid's house, that could have been the end. They get in the van, like, all is well, right? But then they add the extra, like the chase with the dog and like the rocket going up and he's falling with style, like that callback. And like, it reminded me of how good Pixar used to be at this shit. Not saying that Pixar has lost its way completely. I still think Soul is one of the best movies it's done, like in its whole run. I think there's a lot of potential with like an Incredibles 3 or even a Coco 2, but this just made me be like, damn, like this was a moment.
Yeah, this was
the top. What I mean, when this first came out.
But I gotta say one thing.
What?
Those wings would not have snapped that fucking duct tape.
No, they're dead.
There's
so many times. There's so many times when Buzz falls, when he like tries to fly and he crashes down, that plastic helmet's done.
Oh yeah.
You know how those toys used to be in the 90s? We had Power Rangers. Come on.
Yep.
Did you ever have a Buzz Lightyear too?
Yeah. And the plastic thing was destroyed immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Yeah, Buzz is dead.
Yeah, that's the first thing to break. It's the first thing to break on that fucking toy.
Also, I mean, not that
I didn't have it, but I think my nephew had one, or one of my little brothers with that.
I did write down though, like this is one thing where you're like, I call it bullshit. Unless Andy's mom just was loaded, right, because of the divorce, and she just got mad money. If my kid lost a Buzz Lightyear in 1995, my kid lost an action figure that was probably mad expensive, we're going to find that action figure.
I mean, because we got to think about the Tickle Me Elmo craze. Remember that shit?
I remember Tickle Me Elmo, but I never got one.
No. But you remember the craze about it, right?
Like no one can find them, right? So they like the price is insane and shit like that.
Yeah,
right?
People were price gouging them, and like so people were like stealing them and scalping them for like crazy amounts of money. So like that was like one of like the first like big toy releases that people were just going insane about. So like let's say Buzz, and I think Tickle Me Elmo. It may have been around this time. I think it may have been like in this era of like 94, 95 or something like that. Yeah. So like, let's say if Buzz Lightyear was like the really popular thing, at that point, like let's say that action figure may have cost like maybe $25, $30.
I think it might have been even more than that.
But nah, I would.
Because like a Sega was like $100 or so. So
no, $199.
$199. Okay, interesting. Yeah, because I'm thinking like later. Because I'm thinking like N64. I know was like $1.90 or something like that. Because I had to buy it myself. But yeah, I mean, I just remember action figures being like a little expensive, and my mom wouldn't get me a Buzz Lightyear because I'm pretty sure I had the Green Ranger. And I fucked it up, you know, like because he had that gold shield that you could take off the Ranger. And I think I broke that shit. And she beat my ass. So she's like, I'm not buying you another expensive toy that you can just break. I'm like, I'm a kid.
It's my toy to break, damn it.
I actually I've always said that, but I'd like to ask you as a dad, you know, I'm thinking like when I have a kid, I'm gonna let them break their toys. Like it is what it is. I want them to have fun. I don't want to restrict them like that. But in your experience, do you let your kids like break the toys and just have fun with how they see, or like when you see them break the toys, you lose your shit and be like, God damn it, kids?
Listen, like whatever they're gonna do with the toys, they're gonna do with the toys. I don't care. My thing is, it's the pieces being all around the house. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that bothers me because I know I'm gonna step on that shit and it's gonna fucking hurt my feet. But like. So especially now with having Lennox, so we have a little baby in the house, and like they literally will so they're playing and they just spread toys fucking everywhere. So like you know, especially if I'm not home, I come back, it looks like a bomb just went over my house and just toys just like were strewn everywhere. So there's like now I'm cleaning up all the little tiny pieces, and then like. You know, my main thing is like, hey, Lennox is going to start crawling soon. You guys cannot leave these little tiny bits around. You have to clean up after yourself. So, like, that's the yeah, exactly, the choking hazard. Lluvia in the chat. But, like, that's my main thing. So, when parents, you know, we have, you know, birthday parties or, you know, whatever, and parents give us, like, these little dumb little tchotchke gifts or coming from school and shit like that, and it's all these little shits, I'm just like, fuck you! Stop giving me this crap. Like I'm super conscious, so I don't give small little things because I'm like I don't know who has small siblings, and I want to make sure it's safe. But like people, they give you all sorts of little trash all the time, and that little trash is fucking everywhere. So like I had old Ninja Turtle toys. From when I was a kid, that I gave to Jackson after he saw Ninja Turtles and things like that. So I gave my old Ninja Turtle toy, like had like the weapons and everything. I'm pretty sure that was the last day those turtles saw their fucking weapons. Them niggas are gone. Them niggas are gone. And at first I was like, no, Jackson, da da da. But then I was just like, it's not mine anymore. Like it's his, and like. You know, and like also kids need to, you know, kids is just like with grown ass men. They're going to need to learn through loss. So it's like, let him do whatever he's going to do with it. Let him lose things. And he'll learn to either find things or he'll appreciate things on his own. It's like, but I can't instill that in him.
Yeah, and you know, that's what's actually like beautiful about Toy Story 3. And like, you know, I don't know if our producer Lluvia is planning us watching a Toy Story movie every few months now or something like that. But I thought that's why Toy Story 3 was such a perfect ending, because you see Andy part ways with his childhood. You basically see this kid come to reconcile like, you know, his, you know, life with these toys that represent a certain level of innocence and transition for him and stuff like that. And you see him handing them off to a new kid, this young girl, which to your point, Justin, like, I always thought if they did a Toy Story 4, I'm like, it's about them being abandoned, right? Because this kid's going to be like, I want my own shit. Like, I inherited this kid's, all this other kid's shit, right? They didn't quite go that way, but I think, that's why I thought it was beautiful. I mean, they brought back the kid that does the voice acting for Andy in this movie. They brought back all the voice actors.
Yeah.
Like the mom, Laurie Metcalf and stuff like that. For Toy Story 3, it's just like, anyways.
You know, it's funny. I don't even think I've seen Toy Story 3.
Oh, yeah. All right. So let's buckle in, because I recall not being the biggest fan of Toy Story 2. I know a lot of people love it, and like Jessie the Cowgirl and stuff like that, but I thought it was just fine. And then Toy Story 3, like, I think it's better than all of them. I think it's the best.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people were really attached to Toy Story 3, emotionally attached, because it was a very emotional film.
Yeah, I mean, that was to be like that was on the run that Pixar went with. I think it was like The Incredibles, when Mr. Incredible thinks that the kids are dead, to then the first 10 minutes of Up, then like that Toy Story 3, like the ending. I remember crying in the theater. I remember like Tati got like teary eyed because it's part of our childhood, and we're around the age that Andy is at that point. So it's just like, oh shit, this is literally like it's almost like it just shows how much we've grown. And
it's funny. I don't know if necessarily like especially Jackson is prepared for this. I know Axel's not. I think because we watched. Oh no! It was fucking St. Patty's Day, because you know how they do, like in schools they do this whole thing. Oh, the leprechaun messed up the bathroom, and you have to find the leprechaun.
What?
It's
the leprechaun messed up the bathroom.
Yes.
In what way?
Yeah. And
so they're just saying Irish people just going around fucking up bathrooms and toilets.
There's green shit on the toilet. No, seriously, they like no.
They're preparing them for the outside for them when they're like, hey, when you go down Elm Street, all the bars are gonna be full of Irish people puking in the streets. So just know that they fuck up shit.
But
that's terrible.
Because of all of that, and then coming home, and then Jackson's just like, because they did some leprechaun stuff in his class as well. But Jackson was excited about it. He's like, the leprechaun is so fast, and then they left us candy, da 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 da. Axel was just like, he's putting together. It's like, wait, first of all, this nigga destroyed the bathroom at school, and nobody knows who it is. This motherfucker, and then my brother's saying that he's so fast you can't even fucking catch him. He's like, this fucking leprechaun's a goddamn problem. Axel was afraid he couldn't sleep because he'll jacked up about the fucking leprechaun. So I'm just like, okay, I can't show this kid Toy Story because he's going to be staring at his fucking toys all night. It's just like, I know y'all niggas are watching me.
So you're basically Axel's Cartman from South Park. When remember Cartman had that whole, was it Imagination Land where he's like, there's a leprechaun? Like, I swear to God, there's a leprechaun, and he like captures it and shit.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. You had to capture the leprechaun. He was and Axel was just like, nope, I don't like this. I don't like this. And like, there's pictures from Axel's school where all the other kids are like doing all this shit, and you see the look in his eyes. He's just like, He's the only kid. He's just like.
That's so funny though. That's actually
he's so worried.
That could be an SNL sketch. Of like the guest actor like is a kid and they're all kids and that's how they pitch St. Patty's Day in schools now. And the kid's just like, wait a minute, why is no one freaking out about the leprechaun? Does he have a malicious intent? He already messed up our bathrooms. What's next?
I mean, it's actually hilarious because it's so funny because Axel is pretty fearless, but
except
this is
supernatural. Don't show him any Harry Potter shit.
Yo,
don't ever show him it. Don't show him like it or something like that. He'll be fucked up thinking a clown's gonna pop up in the sewer.
I said to Paula, I know when Axel gets older, I'm showing him Leprechaun, and I'm just gonna fuck him up.
Justin,
the Leprechaun movies.
I have to ask, between Axel being afraid of supernatural stuff, Jackson being afraid of fire. Was Paula a witch in the old days?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean,
I'm just saying. There's some, there's some things interesting there.
I mean, because I have some Native American blood.
As all of us do.
Well, not all of us. No.
Do you actually? Let me look at my 23andMe. I downloaded. Oh, by the way, folks, if you didn't know, 23andMe filed for bankruptcy. So if you have an account with them and stuff, you need to download your shit ASAP and delete all the stuff, all records, all their abilities to have samples. But what are we talking about?
Oh yeah, because then they can sell that.
They can sell all of our shit.
Yeah. Yep.
So I deleted it. What were we talking about? What race?
Native American.
Native American. Yeah, actually, I'm 0.2% Indigenous American.
Yeah,
and then I'm 18.8% British and Irish, which is fucking wild. I'm 2.7% Scandinavian, apparently.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's probably from the Europeans, pillaging.
Yeah. I'm 38.9% Nigerian.
Okay. I mean, you didn't get the big niggas Nigerian.
I'm big where it counts, which sometimes can be weird for me. But anyways,
okay, that's so weird.
We've never had to talk about that before in the show.
That's a weird statement. My grandfather was half Scottish, so I know I got a lot of Scottish in me.
Yeah. I mean, it just, it's weird. Like when you I took this years ago. So like, for a long time, I've been like, oh yeah, like I'm almost 20% Irish, and people are like, really? And I'm like, oh man, I've just been making that up, and now I'm like, oh yeah, thank God, I was right.
Which is so weird. Scottish and Chinese.
Oh, I can see that
because the islands.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say because of your eyes, and I was like, Justin, you don't have to be.
Don't do that.
Why you gotta be racist, man?
Don't do that. So Toy Story, guys.
Yeah. Okay, question about the Toy Stories. Again, this kind of goes to the rules. Toys can hear Woody Sid can hear Woody when he's talking to him, right? When Rex is calling out for Buzz after Buzz is in the bush, he thinks he's in the bushes, and they're calling out for him at night. People can hear Rex then, right? But you can hear the toys. Okay. That's a little. It doesn't matter fully to the plot because clearly the neighbors just mind their own businesses. Because if I lived across the street from a nigga like Sid, I'd be calling child services all the time because that kid should not be around explosives.
And you hear fucking explosives going off all the fucking time. Sid's a goddamn psychopath.
Yeah, the dad is clearly an alcoholic because he's just in a dark room drinking by himself in the middle of the day. The mom, we never see Sid's mom. We hear her throughout the house, but we never see her. The sister clearly is fucked up because she takes his handicapped toy, forces him to do tea time and shit. Like, this house is in disarray. The fucking dog walks into a door. It's insane, man. Causes a fucking full-on car accident.
Yeah.
Traffic jam.
I always found those dogs to be kind of scary.
Oh, yeah, that dog is ugly as fuck. Yeah, that's a weird dog.
Yeah.
Weird
flat
dog.
Little heads. I don't like them. I never liked them.
Yeah, I love how Pixar movies really do show you the most unhinged looking people and unhinged looking things in different shapes and sizes. Like this one was the dog. What was it in Finding Nemo? Was that little girl with the braces?
Reminds me of fucking what was her name from Tiny Toons Adventures? Elmira.
Oh yeah. God, she really does.
Yeah.
Wow, I hadn't thought about Myra in a long time. Wow. Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of crossover between certain kinds of films and TV shows, things like that. Because there's a whole crossover to saying that Monsters Inc. They go into Sid's house.
Oh yeah. I've heard the theories about the different little Easter eggs and stuff like that within the Pixar universe.
Yeah, because there's they go into a room and you see Sid's the poster on Sid's wall in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then also, this started the whole tradition with John Ratzenberger, who's the voice of Ham. He goes on to voice a character in every Pixar movie because he's their good luck charm. Which, yeah, if you pay attention, it may be one line, but he's in every movie for sure. Which at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he made a deal for his estate. When he dies, they can just use AI to put him in something, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
and everything. Well. But again, Sid puts on a fucking The fact that there's a Buzz Lightyear at Pizza Planet, which the whole Pizza Planet, I always wanted to try the pizza at Pizza Planet.
I've never Pizza Planet the actual place.
No, not at all. But I've always
okay.
You know what I mean? When you see fictional food places in Breaking Bad, Los Pollos Hermanos, I'm always gonna I've always wanted to try that chicken. If you're front for a drug operation, you gotta be pretty fucking good. Otherwise, if you're booty, people gonna be like, how's this nigga still open?
Oh, God, fucking Brandon. Oh, my God.
What?
You want to try fictional chicken? That is the blackest, most nigga shit. Oh, God, I hate you so fucking much.
You love it. You love me. You love the show. You love everything. But, yeah, Buzz Lightyear ending up in a fucking, claw crane game full of green aliens and shit. And just how did they come up with this? You know what I mean? They go from being lost toys at a gas station, ending up at Pizza Planet, to then trying to find Andy. They fucking jump into that thing because Buzz thinks it's a fucking rocket. And then of course they get picked up by the most dangerous kid in the neighborhood. Yeah. It's wild. And it's believable somehow.
Because you would find a Buzz Lightyear at Pizza fucking Planet. It makes total fucking sense.
That kid was going to definitely get that Buzz Lightyear. Once he saw it, he was like, I don't care how many quarters it takes.
I'm going for broke. I'm going for broke.
Even though...
What's that?
I was going to say, it's like when you and I played the Turtles game in Toronto that one night.
Oh, yeah,
we were down for Toronto International Film Festival. Justin and I randomly found this arcade where I think at one point we realized we didn't have to pay for it. And so we just kept playing Turtles in Time or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. Man, that was a rough 2 hours. that was a long battle. I was like, there's no way you could do this game in quarters. There's no way. You would need like $75 in quarters to beat this
Listen,
game.
man, arcades were making a fucking killing.
they were killing it. And giving niggas anxiety.
So there's a place out here where you go in. It's an arcade. But all of the arcade games are free, much like that place. But you pay $20 and you can play anything you want. For however long. Yeah, if it's like a day pass. It's actually pretty cool. I remember I think last year one of my friends had a birthday party for his kids. It's actually a really cool spot. It's not called Cindercade. It's just a random thing that somebody created out here on Long Island. But it's a really cool spot.
Cool. Yeah, see, I've been wanting to do like a... It'd be cool, even if it's like an activation and just do a pizza plan or something like that. You know, like I think that'd be a lot of fun because, you know, a lot of people, even they're not like they think about Pizza Planet or Toy Story all the time. But if you saw that, you'd be like, oh shit, Disney, Pixar, you know, like it's just, I think there's a missed opportunity there. But there might be a Pizza Planet at Disney. Was there one when you went in Florida? We didn't pay attention. But
well, I didn't go to Disney. We went to like the City Walk.
Oh yeah, you were you were City Walk. Yeah. Okay.
There was nothing in there. Yeah, actually, I didn't really even see any Toy Story stuff.
There's a lot in the park. It's like fucking, it's insane. Like there's a Buzz Lightyear all the time or a Jessie walking around some shit. You know, it's pretty cool. But that's the thing is like the Toy Story brand, like whoever came up with these characters, kudos to them because making all the money. Like some of the most recognizable IP at this point. Buzz and Woody.
Yeah.
It'd be really hard to find someone who doesn't know who at least Buzz Lightyear is.
There's a reason why they're making a Toy Story 5.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Tim Allen's gonna keep doing those until the fucking MAGA wheels fall off. He is not gonna slow down. If you offer him Buzz Lightyear, he ain't gonna turn that away. And what I love most about this movie is it feels of a time, but also timeless at the same time. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it feels like I remember like all the feelings I had when I was watching it in the 90s and things like that, and how a lot of the color and things like that I think reflects kind of like the embracing of like pop and like, you know, more colors and fun. Because, you know, before that it was the grunge period and everything's kind of dreary. We're in war and shit like that, right? Yeah. And so it's, you know, for me, there's just a lot of feels that come on an emotional level when I watch this movie. But it's also just, I know that sounded a little naughty, but it also just genuinely made me laugh a lot. Like, whether it's the charm of Woody, like, and him trying to reconcile how no one realizes that this nigga's plumb crazy because he literally thinks he's leading the forces against Zorg and shit. He's like, I gotta fix my spaceship. It's like, you just need tape. And guess what? You're not going anywhere.
So, it actually, I liked kind of seeing like because this is like the first Pixar movie and like the progression in what they were doing then in the first film, because like actually seeing what Andy looked like and things like that, and how rough that looks, you know, to today's standard. But like it was nice. It was actually nice to see that, and like it didn't feel like, oh, this is outdated and that looks weird. It just felt like, okay, that's just this world, and that's and I accepted it for that, and that was great.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they really stepped up with Humans with Incredibles. Like the Incredible. Like, I remember like there was a big deal about Dash's hair, and they were like, it took us so long to be able to figure out how to do his hair, but it was like one of their chronic achievements in technology.
There was all of these different you know, Disney and Pixar movies that were coming out, you know, I guess in the late 2000s, which really took shit to a different fucking level. Because I remember my ex-girlfriend, her cousin actually worked there was a bidding war over him between Disney and fucking Google, because he actually created the program that created the hair for fucking Tangled. So it's like, so I mean, this niggas making all sorts of fucking money. You know, you have Disney and Google, fighting over you. But there's just a point where like it's like technology just went and it just shot up in a different way. But it's just cool to see it, where it started. Because we had animated films with Disney, but it wasn't this type of animation.
And it's so interesting too because this movie had a budget of $30 million and made over $300 million. Since then, I mean, it's like it's huge in regards to box office. And of course, Pixar has become wildly successful. Eventually, got bought by Disney. For those who don't know, Steve Jobs was an early investor and creative mind at Pixar and stuff like that. And yeah, Pixar just was like the pioneer in creating this world where we now have CGI movies and things like that, and really giving them heart, making them multiple 4-quadrant films where they appeal to so many different demographics and things like that. And even when you have different representation in these movies, I think there's always an attempt at least for it to be as universal as possible.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Toy Story was the beginning of that, where it had a very specific story it was telling, but it works. I just remember being in the mixed room, a full crowd, and just it killing. You know what I mean? People just enjoying every moment of it. And it's for an hour and a half. It's one of those movies where you really turn everything off. You're just engaged with the movie.
Yeah.
You're in that world. And I also think, again, that is the voice acting. I think as much as I don't agree with his politics, I think Tim Allen was great as Buzz Lightyear. It's genius casting. Yeah. Tom Hanks, of course, as Woody is fantastic. Billy Crystal was initially offered the role of Buzz Lightyear. And he declined and said it was as big as a mistake.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but it wouldn't have been the same.
It would have been different. He was perfect with Mike Wachowski in Monsters.
Yeah.
Mike Wachowski.
Yeah. Buzz Lightyear, absolutely not. Yeah. But it's I feel at that time they were just giving Billy Crystal everything. And to be totally honest, I didn't get it.
Billy Crystal's hit or miss with me. What was it? City Slickers. I was always mixed on. I've never actually seen When Harry Met Sally, so I couldn't tell you about that. Him as a romantic lead, but his voice acting as Mike Wazowski, I've always been charmed by that. I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree. I remember City Slickers. I mean, that was kind of a fun film. Actually, you know what movie we need to do? And I'm sorry, it just jumped in my fucking head. The Super. Is with fucking
sounds familiar.
Fucking oh my. How does my mom do this? How does
answer
she
the phone? Let her know. Do voice, do speakerphone.
Hey, Ma.
Hey there. I haven't spoke to you for a while.
You haven't spoke to me for a while? Yeah, Ma. What did I tell you I do on Thursday nights?
I'm sorry. I got one question to ask you.
Ma, you are literally on the podcast right now.
Let her answer the question.
No, go ahead. Ask the question, Ma. Everyone wants to hear.
Let me go.
No. Go ahead, Ma. Finish up.
Well, I wanted to know do you think they'll try to charge me extra because of this tariff?
I really don't know.
Probably.
But you signed paperwork already, right?
Yep. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah, but if you signed paperwork already, your deal's already locked. They can't charge you anymore. You're locked in.
Okay. Sorry about that.
All right, Ma. All right. Thank you for calling
me. Good luck with the tariffs.
Sorry.
All right. Bye. I need to take her off of she can break through the do not disturb, because she's my mom.
Yeah,
she's 75 years old. But at the same time,
she's trying to make sure that she ain't gonna get fucked financially. She's like, I just bought this car. Do I gotta take it back?
Well, no, because she's going to Sweden.
Oh,
because Volvo has a program where you buy a car, you can actually. They're flying her to Sweden. She's gonna pick it up from the fucking factory off the line. She gets to drive it around Sweden for a week, and then she drops it off at the port, which takes it back to the United States, and then they fly her back home. So I'm you love it, you like to travel and all this. Why don't you take advantage of this program? Because she wanted to buy a new car anyways. So I'm all right. But then, luckily, I was just you need to get the car now before all of this, stuff goes into effect. And she's flying to Sweden on the 1st. I'd say on the 2nd. But she already paid for the car.
I don't know if you want to document dates on this, just to not In
No,
case
no, no,
your
no, no.
mom has to do
No,
some
no, but
maneuvering.
it doesn't matter. But it's paid for. You know, she already paid for the car. She's like, you think they're going to charge me? Like, they can't charge you because this deal was already set before.
All right, well, keep the listeners posted on that because
Yeah,
it'll
I'll
be
let you
interesting
know.
if in a week later you're like, "Hey, y'all, really need y'all to sign up for Patreon because Mama got hit with them tariffs." Help!
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, Brandon,
Patreon.com/mediapopcorn.
you know,
Please
Paul
sign
and the
up.
kids are out of town. They're in Finland, and you know, Paul's still on a green card because Trump got off, everything got delayed. So honestly, I'm very worried about whether they're actually going to let her back in the country.
Well, let's send positive vibes
because they
that
can
way.
technically deport her and fucking Jackson for no reason, and not let them back. I mean, Jackson, I think that's a harder thing to do, but like with Paula is just like what the fuck. And also, if they did that, she has 3 children with her. It's just like, you know. So I have to be at the airport like really early just in case. I think it'll be fine, but it's just like you never know right now, especially with them talk about getting rid of the TSA and privatizing security for at airports. Like that's fucking nuts. But again, let's not get into.
Well, we're sending positive vibes, and hopefully, you know, like she has a smooth arrival back.
Yeah,
and everything from her travels and all that stuff. If
Nah,
not, I mean, folks, if you're listening to this episode, you know, this obviously is a cry for you to sign up for Patreon at patreon.com/media popcorn so we can at least pay for some legal fees or something like that if we need to. So patreon.com/media popcorn. Any tier helps. $2, $5, $10. Just come see the packages, get the packages, put them in your
help out with the legal fees or help me create my bat cave so I can fight the crime against our government.
to fight tariffs. You go in the streets. Where's tariffs?
Immigration. They call me immigration man.
A black man in a Batman costume was shot today. And immigration.
He was shot at today, but then we realized he was bulletproof. Bulletproof niggas survive in the world now, ladies and gentlemen.
And then Justin comes on camera for the recording. He's all bruised and shit for the bullets. He's like, "Hey guys, yeah, let's talk Ace Ventura."
Yeah,
all fucked up. Do you think Sid is okay? Do you think Sid ends up being an okay guy after being scared by the toys?
No, I think Sid has a mental break after this. I think Sid is really afraid, and I think Sid's gonna have real big problems.
I can see that. I for sure, because no one's ever gonna believe him that toys were fucking with him.
But like, I think Sid is gonna turn in. He's gonna turn inside. He's gonna go internal, and he's like he's not gonna trust any. Sid is 1,000% a conspiracy theorist, and he thinks everything's out to get him.
And he's probably a serial killer too.
No, I don't even think. No, I think he's too afraid because he thinks that everything's watching him. I think that Sid is fucking Boo Radley. The nigga's living in the basement, only coming out for cigarettes at night.
And there's nothing in his room or anything like that, so he can't conspire against him and shit.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. He probably still got that dirty ass skull shirt. Fucking,
Same one from when he was a kid.
I'm pretty sure though, if memory serves, there's something in Toy Story 3 that references Sid. I don't know if it's a voice act, like a line or something like that, but Sid is referenced in Toy Story 3. So eventually we'll find out what happened to Sid.
I'm not gonna look it up. I'm gonna wait for the movie.
Exactly, wait for the movie, man. Especially if you haven't seen Toy Story 3, which is wild. Tati pointed out when we watched this movie that Buzz seen the Buzz Lightyear commercial when the drunk dad's passed out. Yeah. She was like, that's kind of a shitty way to find out you're not who you thought you were. I was like, I can see that. You know, like, because this whole time, like, you're thinking the cowboy's crazy. And he's like, no, like, for real, like, you were the insane one.
You
find out you're the villain. You find out you're the villain the whole time. I mean, that could be a mind fuck.
But maybe it's also like, hey, it's time to grow up.
I guess, yeah. Like a Truman Show. Like, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Put on your big boy pants. Everyone around you's been fake this whole time. You haven't had one genuine relationship your whole life.
Yep, and you lost your virginity on national television.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, nuts, right?
Yeah. Did we ever review the Truman Show? We did, right?
No, we didn't. We didn't do the Truman Show.
I think we have.
No.
I don't know. You look it up. Look it up.
I'm pretty sure we have not.
I laugh really hard when Buzz is like, I will put my laser from stun to kill or whatever like that. And he's like, all right, great. We can blink him to death. He's like, it's just a fucking light. And then he makes him do that judo chop action. He's like, how are you doing that? Tati was very upset about two egregious parenting things that she thought that Andy's mom committed in this movie. The first is that there were no window guards on Andy's rooms, on any of the houses, rooms in Andy's house.
I mean, this is fucking
95.
the 90s, and it's not New York City. So, like, I understand why Tati is saying that, but Andy lives in the suburbs. And I didn't have window guards on my windows, and I had second floors. I had 2 floors.
Okay.
So like we didn't have window guards.
Okay. I mean, she brought it up. I was like, oh, I'll mention that because I don't know if that's something that Paula and Justin prioritize. You know what I mean?
But we also have we're in a split level home. So like our first floor is like where all the bedrooms are, and then you have the basement level, so downstairs level. So like technically you don't necessarily need them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other point that she had, which I think is very
in my house, Brandon.
I know. I've never been.
4 years, y'all. I've been living for 4 years. Brandon never came by.
Have you been in the house in 4 years?
21.
Time really does go by fast, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you sorry. You sorriest motherfucker I ever seen.
I'm gonna come over, but you're not gonna like what I do.
Yeah, okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
I'll blow up your bathroom. I'm gonna make sure I have a lot of tacos and queso on my way to your house.
Please do. Please do. I'm prepared for it. I got kids, nigga. There's shit all over this house.
Wait, what do you mean they shit all over the house? Like I don't want to know.
Nigga, I got kids. They shit their pants everywhere. Axel
do kids
sits
really
on
shit
his
their
potty.
pants that much?
Yes. Axel sits on the potty in the fucking kitchen. Like, they're wild fucking animals. Brandon. There's so much shit. So much shit. My nephew's been here. He's just like, Axel just pulls his potty up and just shits anywhere, doesn't he? I says, yes. Yes.
Does he just walk around with his potty?
No, like he's sitting there watching TV. I'm like, Axel, you have to go potty. And he was like, okay. And he runs to the bathroom and he comes running out with his potty, puts it down in the living room. He's just like, I ain't missing this. And shit's right there. I was like, why are you bringing this in?
Remember that time of the episode where Jackson brought his poop sample? He's like, Daddy, I did it. My son just presented a bunch of poop to me. You're just like, oh, God.
Well, all right. I guess you can just sit right there. I'll smell it for the rest of the episode.
So the other parenting thing that Tati flagged was that the baby on the way to Pizza Planet is sitting in the front seat of the car.
Again, it's a different time. You used to.
That's something they used to do in the 90s?
Yep.
Damn.
Because like you remember, like, we didn't have car seats.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, we didn't have car seats.
When did that become a thing? When did that become required too to get the extra extender car seats? Not the baby one,
seat. Yeah,
but the booster seat. Yeah, that shit is mad expensive and awkward.
Yeah, I mean $200. I just fucking buy one. But yeah. So like a car seat and all that, like all the highway traffic controls. I'm sorry, the highway. I forgot what the agency is called, but like that's changed since we were kids because I don't remember sitting in a car seat. But the child seats, they were actually sitting in the front and they had them face backwards. But that was all. But they were just like, okay, we can't do that because of the fucking airbags. No. Once they started having dual airbags, because airbags was only for the driver because they were hidden inside of the fucking steering wheel. But people used to travel with their babies in the front because if you're driving alone, a mother, a stay-at-home mom, how are you going to have your baby all the way in the back? And the cars were much bigger at that time. So you technically couldn't really realistically do it. And also, when airbags really started to become a thing, you can still do it now. Technically, you can turn the other airbag off to have a car seat in the front seat.
Okay.
Yeah, this what happened when you got a car nigga on the phone. On the goddamn podcast.
All right. Folks, we did get some Patriot thoughts on Toy Story. Remember, when you sign up at Patreon at patreon.com/Media Popcorn, you're guaranteed to have your thoughts and reviews of that film right on that episode. So JC Cuts wrote, testament to the power of great storytelling. 30 years later, it looks like a PS1 cutscene than a movie with some truly terrifying humans, but the characters and story are so timeless, you can still throw it on and have a blast. Aaron Hicks wrote, the movie is so good, you don't realize till you're older that there's a racist joke in it with Mr. Potato Head and the hockey puck. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Get out of here, you hockey puck. Get out of my way.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Courtney O'Connor wrote, one of the best. Tim and Tom crushed their roles, and all the jokes hit along with the references and Easter eggs. I still call folks uncultured swines, and I still want a movie-accurate Buzz Lightyear action figure. This is easily an XO popcorn. Yeah. And then Strawfire71 wrote, I remember being blown away by the animation when I first watched this. It's such a nostalgic movie with so many great lines and such a creative story. I can still say Andy's coming in my classroom and the kids will slump in their chairs and be quiet. Large popcorn just for the classroom management too. Laughing emoji. Okay. Cool.
When the second time I went and auditioned for Upright Citizens Brigade, I did a fucking Toy Story parody for my audition. I was fucking Caesar from fucking Planet of the Apes. And I was I was Caesar from Planet of the Apes, and I'm giving that big triumphant speech about how we're going, gonna go against the humans, and yada yada yada, and then they go, oh no, Andy's coming, and then I literally just go limp and just fall to the ground, and then slowly, you see my head pop up, and then it goes oh, false alarm, but it's got a huge laugh off it. It was this, and that was what 2000, I don't even know, but people went crazy over it. I've done it in other things, but it's because Toy Story is that fucking iconic. You could put anything in Toy Story and do that, it works.
Okay. Yeah. Lluvia did pull some letterbox reviews on Toy Story that she thought we should read. The first one's from Houston Coley, who wrote, everything you could ever need to know about screenwriting can be learned from this movie. No scene is wasted. Everything serves more than one purpose. It's the definition of a tight script. Masterpiece. 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely agree with that. Cinephila wrote, the most relatable part of this movie is when Buzz becomes self-aware, has an existential crisis, and sinks into depression. 4 out of 5 stars. Yep. Sorian wrote, 24 years later, Toy Story still remains as one of the best, most cleverly written animated films of all time. Only an uncultured swine would tell otherwise. 5 out of 5 stars. 24 Frames of Nick wrote, I sympathize with Sid. He's just poor, so he creates new toys because he can't afford new ones. 4 out of 5 stars. Now, wait a goddamn minute. Because I know a lot of people who were very high, upper middle class that had houses like Sid. They were fine. Sid just lives like that because he can, because there's no rules in this fucking house. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that's because he's poor, but at the same time, his backyard did only have a grill and a really shitty sandbox, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, but it's probably that way because Sid keeps fucking shit up.
And just his dad's like, I'm not going to invest in the backyard. That kid's torturing people out there.
Exactly.
I'm not going to invest in
the graveyard.
Graveyard, yeah. Fucking insane. And then Andy Levy wrote a bone-chillingly terrifying horror movie about a bunch of toys that come alive and terrorize a young boy named Sid. 5 out of 5 stars. If Sid were a real person, I would think Sid wrote that review. The kid's the victim.
Actually, that's a pretty funny kind of movie, and you take it from the perspective of Sid. A kid who's literally torturing toys, and then they, strike back. The toys strike back. That'd actually be pretty fucking amazing.
I mean, that'd be a funny SNL sketch of Sid sues Andy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's your toys are the ones that fucked with me. We didn't even talk about the ending ends with not only are they getting a Mrs. Potato Head for Christmas, but also a dog. And so I remember being like, oh man, they make a sequel. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And then they kind of address the dog thing very quickly. It's not a big plot point.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would be. But Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. I said stop calling me baby. So guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, delicious, buttery popcorn, we throw it into the stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So Brandon, we watched the 1995 animated adventure comedy film Toy Story, starring Tim Allen and, of course, my man Tom Hanks and a bunch of other people. Not to mention Jim Varney. That's right, guys. Ernest himself was in this movie as Slinky Dog. Brandon, what say you, sir?
Yeah, it's because of XL. This is a classic. This is an animation classic. I loved it from start to finish. I'm just nitpicky with a few things because I had to be, because otherwise there's just be 60 minutes of me being like, I love this movie. I love this movie. Fest. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, this movie is undeniable, and the impact that's had on story, on animation, all these things. I do sometimes miss 2D animation because this definitely changed the game and prioritization of what kind of animation is prioritized in the industry. But this is just a fantastic movie. Justin, what's your rating?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how you can give this anything less than an XL. Like it's a tall order. I mean, other than the fact is that, you know, Josh Whedon was part of, you know,
he was one of the writers.
was on this. But like, yeah, this is just kind of, you know, like in the Letterboxd reviews, it's a very tight script. It hit all those points like perfectly. It was very, the timing was phenomenal. The emotional beats were it's just spot on so many ways. And it was just long enough. Like it didn't go longer than it had to. I'm surprised that this didn't make even more money than it did at the time. But then again, also, the ticket sales were a lot less. I mean, because the tickets didn't cost as much. But like, yeah, this is an XL all the way. It's like, this is what you're supposed to do when you're making an animated film.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just love this fucking movie.
The creme de la creme.
And also to the Joss Whedon thing, yeah, John Lasseter, who also is the writer, one of the writers and director of this, he had some problematic shit, which is why he got fired at Pixar. But he's still out here working too. So, but you just can't deny the story and the script and everything like that. It's just, you know, sometimes bad people make amazing things. It's fucking weird. All right, folks, as always, you can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. Be sure to go to youtube.com/Medium Popcorn Podcast. Press that subscribe button so you get a little about all future reviews and celebrity interviews. And as always, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Threads and Instagram. That's where I post about shows and all kinds of things going on. I got some shows coming up in New York City, 420, Drum Black History, so FrodoBlackens.com for all that stuff. And Justin, how can people follow you as well as support the show financially if they choose to do so, which they should, because they love us and they want us to be successful?
So, guys, you can follow me at JBrownDinner on all social media platforms, but you can support me, Justin, only Justin. And, of course, support this show at patreon.com/Medium Popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog goes on to Patreon. We got bonus episodes. We got mini shows. There's just so much content on there, guys. If you love this show and you feel like, it's just not enough one time a week, Patreon is where you need to be. So, again, that's patreon.com/Medium Popcorn.
Come get that medium popcorn in your ear.
Strange things are happening to me. Strange.
We really could have talked about Randy Newman for conservatively, I think, at least a half hour. Like, it's just, there's so many questions about just
fly.
You got a friend in me. Somebody down them about them
when roll looks rough red and
all right, guys. We'll talk to y'all soon.
It's like Goofy singing.
Medium popcorn, we are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning.